With the above framework, members are required to complete and submit their declaration of interest via SAP from the 1st to the 30th of March 2024. So the deadline is the 30th of March. So members, you are all reminded about that. Thank you. Can I request the Secretary to read the order, first order?
Introduction of the Gauteng Provincial Appropriation Bill J001-2024 for the 2024-2025 financial year.
Let me call upon Honorable MEC Mamabulo to present his budget speech.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker and Deputy Speaker, Premier Panyaza Lesufi, and fellow members of the Executive Council, one and only one Chief Whip of the Majority Party, leaders of political parties, members of the Provincial Legislature, MMCs of Finance and Councillors, distinguished members of the diplomatic community, representatives from the Auditor General's Office, senior officials of government and municipalities, representatives of business, organized labor, and civil society, distinguished guests, comrades and friends. Allow me to take this opportunity to acknowledge that we are joined by the newly elected Provincial Executive Committee members of the South African Communist Party in Gauteng Province, fresh from the box. Let me also acknowledge the leadership of the African National Congress President, Kosatu and Sanko, and the National Secretary of the Young Communist League of South Africa. He has visited us, and I'd like to welcome him. Madam Speaker, I am deeply honored to be given the opportunity to present the 2024-2025 Gauteng Provincial Budget to the Legislature today. This budget comes after the presentation of the State of the Nation address by President Cyril Ramaphosa. State of the Province address by Premier Panyaza Lesufi, and of course the national budget by the Finance Minister, Honorable Enoch Godongwana. We are tabling the budget a day after the launch of the Human Rights Month under the theme, 3 decades of respect for and promotion of human rights. We join calls by government to urge all South Africans to use Human Rights Month to foster greater social cohesion, nation building, and a shared national identity, and to strive for inclusive socio-economic development while ensuring that we combat the scourge of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and all related intolerances, as well as gender-based violence and femicide, which are undermining our human rights culture. Honorable members, this budget also comes on the 30th year of our democracy, commemorating the historic day of 27th April 1994, when millions of South Africans exercised their right to vote for the first time in their lives. Reflecting on the journey we have traversed over the past 30 years, President Ramaphosa aptly and correctly stated, open quote, "We have transformed the lives of millions of South Africans, provided the necessities of life, and created opportunities that never existed before." It was for this reason that when delivering his State of the Province address, Premier Panyaza Lesufi correctly stated, and I quote, "Today, 30 years later, the province of Gauteng has changed beyond recognition from the racialized spatial nightmare of our past," closed quote. Honorable members, there's no greater clear demonstration of the strength of our maturing democratic system than the fact that as we celebrate 30 years of freedom, this country will be going to yet another general election on 29 May, where more than 27 million people will once again exercise their right to vote for the government of their choice. Let me just, honorable members, say, the President and the Minister of Finance both said, "Siabuya," they also meant here. The ANC is coming back. Madam Speaker, it was on the 5th March 2020 when the first budget of the sixth administration was tabled to this House. Today, on the 5th of March 2024, exactly 5 years later, we are presenting the last budget of the sixth administration. And of course, as I said, Siabuya. This is therefore an opportune time for us to briefly reflect on how we used the budget during the 2019-2024 political term of government to implement our priorities, firmly focused on improving the living conditions of people in Gauteng. Honorable members, the total combined budget of the provincial government over the past 5 years amounted to 744 billion rands. This translates into an average of 149 billion per year in the last 5 years, inclusive of the current financial year. The largest share of these resources went to the social cluster, which accounted for 81% of the total budget. We also significantly invested in supporting the township economy, provision of decent housing for communities, youth development, and women empowerment initiatives. Over the years, we allocated these resources as follows. In the 2020 medium-term expenditure framework budget, our theme was doing more with less. And we responded decisively to the COVID-19 pandemic by funding large-scale health interventions, economic relief measures, and protected the most vulnerable people in difficult times. The 2021 medium-term expenditure framework was tabled under the theme, renewing the economy and restoring the public finances. Our focus in that budget was to support a rapid return to economic growth, to provide additional resources to the health sector to address the COVID-19 pandemic, vaccine rollout, and provincial own revenue enhancement. The theme of the 2022 MTF budget was supporting the recovery and building for the future with a focus on consolidation and delivery of the GGT 2030 initiatives, special economic zones, and increased infrastructure expenditure. The 2023 MTF budget was tabled under the theme, improving socio-economic conditions and enhancing revenue collection, and prioritized 82% of our resources for the social cluster, tackling youth unemployment and gender-based violence, amongst others. However, honorable members, we must express our concern about the expenditure performance of departments in this period, which was characterized by underspending. This leaves room for the province to improve the quality of spending for both conditional grants and equitable share. As we present this final budget of the sixth administration, we stand at a pivotal juncture in the history of Gauteng, reflecting on 30 years of democratic governance, but mindful of the fact that we must lay a strong foundation for the future. This budget, therefore, is not merely a financial statement. It is a strategic framework that underscores our solid commitment to the enduring principles of stabilizing finances, protecting the most vulnerable, and economic growth. It represents our collective vision for a Gauteng that is prosperous and equitable, where the benefits of growth are shared by all residents. Indeed, Honorable Premier, during the SOPA said, and I quote, and I agree with you, Premier, no sunrise will find us where sunset left us. Days are never counted backwards, close quote. Thank you, Premier. Honorable members, let me now turn to the economic outlook and state that the world is experiencing subdued economic performance. We live in an interconnected world, and the weak global economic performance has negatively affected the economies of both South Africa and Gauteng. That is why we support the urgent implementation of structural reforms that the President spoke about during his State of the Nation address to enhance economic performance of our country and indeed Gauteng. To this end, we proudly noted at the end of January, South Africa launched the country's first preferential trading shipment under the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. This was an important milestone, and as Gauteng, we remain fully committed to take full advantage of the opportunities provided by the African Continental Free Trade Area to boost trade and economic growth in the province. Honorable members, let me take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Wamkele Mene for being reappointed for another 4 years as the Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat by the African Heads of States and Government of the African Union Summit 2 weeks ago. Congratulations to him. Now, honorable members, let me go to other positive indicators. Of course, other positive developments in the country that, if maintained, will definitely fast-track our recovery and set this economy on a sustained growth trajectory, and amongst others, the following are included. South Africa has made progress towards meeting the international standards on preventing money laundering, which led to the country being grey-listed by the global financial watchdog known as the Financial Action Task Force. There has been an improvement in logistical constraints, easing transportation of goods to boost the economy. There is an increased private sector appetite to collaborate with government to address growth-inhibiting challenges. Allow me to talk about how we promote transparency, good governance, and good financial management. Honorable members, as we march towards the end of the 6th administration, it is absolutely important that we reflect on some of the key achievements of this term in relation to our work of managing the public purse. The 2022-23 audit outcomes were the best of the 6th administration. All departments in the province achieved unqualified audit outcomes. 6 of these departments achieved clean audit outcomes. There were no disclaimers in the audit outcomes in the province. These outcomes demonstrated progress on governance and financial management due to, amongst other things, compliance with rules and regulations, performing risk-based audits that assisted departments to improve the internal control, environment, risk management, and governance processes. We have maintained the implementation of the open tender system and ensure that all bids over 2 million rands are subjected to probity audit. A total of 428 projects have been awarded through the open tender since 2014, amounting to 41.6 billion rands. The provincial government The provincial government has never incurred irregular expenditure on open tender transactions. Very important. Madam Speaker, in adhering to the call of professionalizing supply chain management, we partnered with National Treasury and the Transport Sector Education and Training Authority. We have trained 246 supply chain management officials from departments, municipalities and entities who have now been accredited with a standard-based NQF level 5 qualifications termed the higher certificates supply chain management. This is to ensure sound financial management and improve compliance levels within the public sector. The Intergovernmental Debt Management Committee has assisted our municipalities to collect 15.6 billion from departments and entities for services, rates, and taxes. This is a major achievement, honorable members. The 3 metropolitan municipalities, followed by Mfuleni local municipality, received the largest share of these funds. We have decided to extend the mandate of the Debt Management Committee to include national departments and parastatals. Allow me to go through our supply chain and procurement for transformation. Madam Speaker, let me now make a point about how this government is using its massive procurement spend to fundamentally transform the township economy and set it on a faster growth trajectory. Throughout this term of government, Gauteng Provincial Treasury, the Department of Economic Development, and other partners have been crisscrossing the province, providing supplier development workshops and registering businesses on the Central Supplier Database, CSD. These efforts led to registration of more than 30,700 township suppliers on the CSD. To demonstrate our confidence in these township companies, the provincial government went on to conduct business with 22,725 of these companies owned by blacks, women, youth, people with disability, military veterans, to the value of over 14.2 billion during this term of government. We welcome the passing of the Public Procurement Bill by the National Assembly. In its current form, the bill is aligned to the progressive transformation of procurement approach that we are striving towards achieving, guided by the groundbreaking first of its kind, the Township Economic Development Act, TEDA. With respect to payment to our suppliers, honorable members, payment of suppliers on time is not only a requirement in terms of the Public Finance Management Act. This also assists businesses to improve cash flow that is important for their sustainability and expansion. In 2019, the EXCO Lekgotla took a resolution that the electronic invoice submission system must be utilized as a platform to submit invoices to provincial departments. Since issuing this directive, we can report that as at the end of January, the province had received more than 1 million invoices through this system. For the first time in January 2024, all service providers submitted their invoices via the EIS platform, allowing them to track the status of their invoices leading to payment stage. We are delighted to announce that this led to the most departments and several entities achieving 100% of payment of invoices within 30 days. We know fully well that we still have a long way to go to achieve our goal of paying all suppliers on time, particularly, of course, by the Department of Health, and of course, we're working with the MSC. However, we remain optimistic that through the implementation of initiatives such as the EIS, we will achieve our objective. Now, honorable members, let's go to the fiscal environment and our strategy. Madam Speaker, the 2024 MTF budget that we are presenting today was compiled under challenging circumstances than ever before. This is due to deep fiscal constraints and a weak economic outlook. In this context, this budget strikes a balance between the fiscal constraints that continues to be a drag on resource allocation and the protection of the social wage, while at the same time striving towards the Gauteng of our dreams. We reaffirm our commitment to the vision articulated in the Growing Gauteng Together plan, GGT 2030, and the elevated priorities anchored on township, informal settlements, and hostels known as TISH. Therefore, the 2022 provincial budget is centered on ensuring sustained resourcing of the following policy priorities, aligned, of course, to the state of the province address delivered by our Premier. That is accelerating economic recovery and reconstruction, strengthening the battle against crime, corruption, vandalism, and lawlessness in the province, improving the living conditions in townships, informal settlements, and hostels, prioritizing the health and wellness of the people, and strengthening the capacity of the state to deliver effectively and efficiently. This budget, honorable members, is guided by the following principles, amongst others. Most importantly, protect elevated provincial priorities from baseline reductions and target cost containment budget line items, capping the growth in the provincial budget deficit. Let me repeat that, capping the growth in the provincial budget deficit, very important point. Responding to fiscal consolidation and absorbing the implications of the unfunded public sector wage agreement within the existing baselines, ensuring the long-term fiscal sustainability in the challenging socio-economic environment, protecting the most vulnerable as one of the key principles. Honorable members, the provincial budget for 2024-2025 amounts to 165.8 billion rands. It will grow to 171.5 billion in 2025-2026 and to 176.8 billion in 2026-2027. To put it differently, honorable members, honorable Premier, we are injecting 514.1 billion over the 2024 MTF into the Gauteng space. Now, let me emphasize, Premier, that we are putting R500 billion rands into the economic space of Gauteng. That's a massive growth on our budget for the province. The budget comprises transfers from national government, of which the provincial equitable share amounts to 127.9 billion, 133.7 billion, and of course 139.9 billion for each respective year of the 2024 MTF. With respect to the conditional grants allocations, which has also been subjected to fiscal consolidation, will amount to 27.8 billion in 2024-2025, 27.7 billion in 2025-2026, and 27.8 billion in 2026 and 2027 financial years, respectively. Provincial owned receipts during the MTF are expected to grow by 3%, realizing 8 billion, 8.3 billion rands, and 8.7 billion for each respective year of the 2024 MTF period. Over the 2024 MTF, provision has been made for the carry-through costs of the implementation of the public sector wage agreement. Of the 14.5 billion made available to the health and education sectors that account for over 90% of the provincial workforce, health will be receiving an additional 8.7 billion over the next 3 years, while education is in line for an injection of 5.8 billion rands. Further to these amounts, National government made additions of 7.9 billion to partially offset the particularly debilitating impact of fiscal consolidation on the health and education sectors, which are primary function of our provinces. While these increases appear modest, honorable members, they reflect the dynamic interplay between long-term fiscal sustainability of the budget due to the ever-increasing binding structural constraints in our economy. With respect to provincial-owned revenue, Madam Speaker, in the current depressed fiscal environment, revenue maximization has become more critical to mitigate fiscal consolidation reductions. It is therefore essential that departments must follow a multi-pronged approach in optimizing revenue, being cognizant of risks that result in reduced revenues, such as tax fatigue, tax evasion, rising household debt, increased cost of living, and rising social needs. This can be achieved through, amongst others, transparent and accountable service delivery, assuring citizens that their contributions lead to better outcomes, improvements in service delivery so that citizens can value the impact of their tax contributions and regulatory fees, tailored communication to highlight citizens' benefit from public services funded from tax contributions or regulatory fees, incentives to encourage citizens to willingly honor their tax contributions and regulatory fees. Participatory governance by including citizens in decision-making related to public spending. Honorable members, the revenue that the province has collected from the beginning of the term until the end of January 2024 amounts to a whopping 34.9 billion rands collected by this provincial government. Honorable members, this performance for the period under review was mainly driven by the Gauteng Departments of Roads and Transport. Thank you very much, MEC. To the Economic Development Gauteng Department, and of course to Health and Gauteng ourselves, Provincial Treasury, we deserve a thunderous round of applause for the contribution we are making. Chair of the Portfolio Committee, we include Provincial Treasury in raising revenue for the provincial government. Thank you very much. The current revenue trends indicates that we are on course to achieve the appropriation target of 7.6 billion for the current financial year. 7.6 billion will be raised for the current financial year, honorable members. That's a major achievement. Now, let me go to the 2024 MTF budget allocations to various departments. Madam Speaker, allow me to come to the allocations. The 2024 MTF budget addresses the priorities outlined in the State of the Province address and following resources which are already in the baselines of GPG departments. Now, let me just make a point that MECs as well, when they table their budget speeches, they will also outline and provide further details. Now, let me say that according to the World Bank's report, known as the Economic Cost of Crime in South Africa, published last year, the high level of violent crime in our country consumes an estimated 10% of our GDP, amounting to 700 billion in 2023, comprising of stolen property, protection costs, and opportunity costs. It is in that context, honorable members, that in 2023, the estimated figure of 700 billion was nearly 3 times the amount government spent on healthcare and 600 million, more than the entire budget of the South African Police Service. This has a negative impact on commercial activity and investment into the province. That is why, when delivering the State of the Province address, Premier Banyaza Lesufi said, this government will continue to increase the budget substantially to fight crime, because we understand this matter very well, thanks to you, Premier. Therefore, the Gauteng Department of Community Safety is allocated 2.3 billion in 2024-2025 and 7.2 billion over the 2024 MTF to bolster new law enforcement capabilities, such as crime prevention wardens, helicopters, the drones to take crime fighting into the skies. The provincial, honorable members, it also includes financing the provincial integrated command center, the community policing initiatives fighting gender-based violence and crimes against children through the GBV response plan, as well as crime prevention programs aimed at fostering safer communities. In this regard, honorable members, let me take this opportunity, Madam Speaker, to congratulate and welcome the new Gauteng Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Tommy Mtombeni, who officially took up this position on the 1st of March. Congratulations, MEC. Thank you very much. As the provincial government, we look forward to working with Lieutenant General Mtombeni to increase crime-fighting efforts, particularly in niche areas, and stamp out lawlessness and vandalism in Gauteng. Honorable members, Premier Lesufi said, open quote, "The township economy is our new goal to drive economic development and job creation in the province," close quote. In the 2024-25 financial year, we are giving 1.7 billion to the Gauteng Department of Economic Development and 5.3 billion over the 2024 MTF to specifically address the following, amongst others: job creation initiatives, as well as revitalizing the landscape of our township, including industrial parks, transform Gauteng into a single, multi-tiered, mega special economic zones to attract investments, attract tourism, including through the hashtag Visit Gauteng, Zwagala, present communication campaign, and bolster activities for the next benefit of our residents. In addition, nasi spani, sipi spani, nasi spani. Inasipi spani, nasi spani. Sipi spani, nasi spani. In addition, the Nasi Spani Mass Recruitment Program, which was launched by the Premier in June last year, will continue to facilitate access to job openings for the youth within departments and their entities and enhance service delivery. Honorable Premier, I heard that in other provinces, they are asking, how did we go through Nasi Spani? And we hope the Premier will help the other provinces. In the 2024-2025 financial year, this will be done through initiatives such as Green Army, Sawubona Mhlali, and civic ambassadors, which have been funded by internal reprioritization in respective departments. Honorable members, enhancing education, health and wellness, and provision of social services to improve the overall quality of life for residents of Gauteng are at the heart of our functions as a provincial government and account for 83% of the 2024 MTF budget that I tabled today. Therefore, MEC Chilwan, the Department of Education receives 65.8 billion in 2024-2025 and a total of 205.9 billion over the 2024 MTF to expand access to quality education, skills development opportunities, to empower individuals, enhance workforce readiness and drive socio-economic progress. That's what is coming your way, MEC. The allocation to the department includes the 8.6 billion and nearly 24.7 billion to implement the number of achievements, MEC, such as school nutrition, scholar transport, psychosocial support for inclusive education, learning and teaching support material, schools of specialization, expansion of universal access to Grade R, public and independent school subsidies, norms and standards. Madam Speaker, navigating the complexities within our healthcare system and striving for excellence in enhancing the well-being of our residents necessitate a steadfast commitment to prioritizing health and wellness. We are therefore allocating, honorable members, Madam Deputy Speaker, we are therefore allocating, MEC, we are allocating a total of 64.8 billion in 2024, 2025, and then 202.7 billion over the MTF to the Gauteng Department of Health to implement health wellness interventions, particularly MEC in the townships, informal settlements, and hostels. Honorable members, a total of 14.2 billion has been allocated in the 2024-2025 financial year and 43.4 billion over the 2024 MTF towards, amongst others, broadening access to quality public health care, to primary health care, re-engineering, and of course the extension of the 24-hour services at community health centers, and the reduction of radiation oncology backlog in health facilities. Honorable MEC. Honorable members, Madam Speaker,
Honorable Parent Host, continue. Honorable Parent Host, continue, Honorable.
Honorable members, allow me to say that we are fully aware of the challenges faced by young, unemployed doctors. We would like to assure doctors that this matter is receiving full attention. In this regard, we will be working with the Department of Health to ensure that this matter is addressed, and of course, MEC, we will ensure that it is sorted. The MEC of Health and Wellness will provide details on this matter. Madam Speaker, addressing homelessness and supporting the most vulnerable population is a humanitarian imperative. I'd like to say to MEC Tope, the Gauteng Department of Social Development is allocated 5.4 billion in 2024-2025 and a total of 16.9 billion over the MTF to implement broad initiatives related to addressing societal problems, including providing funding for shelter programs, for social services, and housing support initiatives to assist vulnerable population and combat homelessness. I'm very much pleased, honorable members, to report that in addition, this department is allocated 190.6 million and 588.2 million over the MTF towards treatment centers important towards treatment centers in Randfontein, in Witpoortjie, and in Sidibeng, as well as the overall drug and substance abuse program. Honorable members. Honorable members,
Sorry, Honorable
Premier,
Honorable MC, Honorable Pedeno, you know, if you can drink water, it will help a lot. Please. Water will help you. Thank you, members. Thank you.
cheers, honorable members. Drinking water is important. Cheers.
Honorable members.
Honorable members,
Whoa,
Premier
MEC.
Nisufi.
MEC. Whoa. Honorable members, I will request that you leave the house. Because when a member is presenting, in terms of the rules, you are not allowed to make any noise. Please. Continue, MEC.
Honorable members, our Premier Lesufi emphasized during SOPA government's unwavering commitment to improve the living conditions of our people in townships and informal settlements. Madam Speaker, a total of 5.8 billion in 2024-2025 and 16.9 billion over the MTF is allocated to Gauteng Department of Human Settlements, MEC Maile, to provide, amongst other things, housing enhancements and infrastructure advancements through the Human Settlements Development Grant, Rapid Land Release Program, and Urban Renewal Program, thus demonstrating our resolve to improve the living conditions in the townships, informal settlements, and hostels. When we talk about strengthening the capacity of the state, honorable members, it means enhancing the capabilities and effectiveness of our Gauteng provincial government departments and entities to streamline the delivery of services within a framework of good governance. In the 2024 SOPA, the Honorable Premier reiterated the need to promote transparency and accountability within GPT departments, as well as commitment to responsible financial management and ethical governance. I'm very much pleased to announce, Premier, that the Office of the Premier, which is responsible for, amongst others, provincial forensic audits and integrity management, has been allocated, Premier, 61.3 million in 2024-2025, and we're increasing, Premier, 189.3 million over the 2024 MTF for this purpose. I think we must give Premier's department. Honorable members, we are proud of our diversity as a province. And indeed, the motto, open quote, unity in diversity, embraces the melting pot of South Africa's cultures. Accordingly, the promotion of social cohesion, diversity, and community involvement through sports and arts endeavors, it's a fundamental goal that we always strive to achieve. And therefore, we are making an allocation, MEC Musupie, of 1 billion in 2024-2025 and 3.3 billion over the 2024 MTF to the Gauteng Department of Sports, Arts and Culture and Recreation for cultural programs, sports development, and arts projects that promote social cohesion, celebration of diversity, and fostering community engagement. On a lighter note, Premier, I see that it seems it's your department where there's no billion, Premier, but we'll sort it out. We'll attend to it. We'll attend to it. We'll attend to it. Premier, there will be redress, Premier. Turning now to eradicating hunger and food security, honorable members, GPG remain focused on implementing programs that provide access to nutritious food, support local agriculture, and address food insecurity among vulnerable populations as a way of alleviating hunger, improving nutrition, and enhancing food sustainability in the province. This is seen in the allocation in the 2024-2025 allocation of 1 billion rand and 3.3 billion over the 2024 MTF to the Gauteng Department of Agriculture, Rural Development and Environment to fund agri-parks and milling plants, as well as agro-processing and the mainstream of urban agriculture, MEC. It must emphasize that these funds are in addition to the Comprehensive Agricultural Support Program, LISIMA, and Land Care Conditional Grants, of which the department receives, MEC Tope, 141.5 million, 155.3 million, and 163.5 million for each respective year of the 2024 MTF. I think we must congratulate MEC for these resources. Honorable members, in the 2023 budget, we highlighted the threat to our economic recovery and any potential future growth that the energy supply posed over the short and medium term. The Gauteng Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs has been allocated 1 billion in 2024-2025 and 2.3 billion over the MTF to enhance the existing raft of initiatives outlined in SOPA, including those focused on the Energy Crisis Response Plan, in collaboration with the National Energy Committee, local government, and energy expert, MEC Kumalo. I think we must give Cocta's budget, which has grown. It used to be somewhere. Now we go into billions. As Premier Lesufi said, we are ready to intervene to provide services to our communities. In this regard, GPG, through various legal instruments, such as Section 154 of the Constitution, endowed with statutory powers to monitor and support municipalities, and equally intervene in instances where municipalities are failing to fulfill their constitutional obligations. The provincial government will do so within the spirit of cooperative governance and, importantly, within the confines of the Constitution. The areas of focus will be provision of water and refuse removal, as these are the basic services that affect our communities. Madam Speaker, in the 2023 budget speech, we announced that the Gauteng Infrastructure Financing Agency, GIFA, has issued a request for proposals notice to the market for development of a Merafon solar farm. We are very pleased, honorable members, that the Sibanye Stillwater Board has approved the allocation of land leases to the 6 independent power producers. The signing by the IPPs will be completed by end of March 2024, triggering the permitting processes within the next 12 months. Gauteng government is facilitating municipal offtake of the 800 megawatts, which will contribute to bringing construction timelines closer. Honorable Premier, I would like to assure honorable members that the mine has signed the allocations of the land. And there were delays, but is now sorted, and that's why we can proceed. Madam Speaker, the Gauteng Department of Roads and Transport receives, MEC, a total of 9.4 billion in 2024-2025 and 28.1 billion over the MTF period, MEC. The department will utilize these resources to, amongst others, things, focus on the completion of infrastructure projects, and launch new number plates that include the track and trace system, Honorable Premier. A total of 4.2 billion is made available from the National Department of Transport via conditional grants for the Provincial Roads Maintenance Grants, Public Transport Operations Grant, and the EPWP Integrated Grant, which over the MTF amounts to 12.1 billion rands. Honorable members, the Gauteng Department of Infrastructure Development is allocated 3.2 billion in 2024-2025 and 10 billion over the MTF to, amongst other things, provide quality maintenance services for the assets within its custodianship. The department intends to reduce youth unemployment through various job creation interventions, such as the National Youth Service Program, which receives 104 million in 2024-2025 and 301 million over the MTF, while the expanded Public Works Program receives 171 million in 2024-2025 to create 4,500 work opportunities. Well done, MEC Maile. Well done to the MEC. Siphi Spani, Nasi Spani. MEC member, honorable members, MEC Kumalo, the Gauteng Department of eGov is allocated 1.7 billion in 2024-2025, which grow and accumulates to 5.1 billion over the MTF period to work towards modernizing provincial ICT infrastructure and government services. An additional 50 million within the budget of the department has been allocated in 2024-2025 and 73.7 million over the 2024 MTF towards the expansion of Wi-Fi hotspots in all townships. MEC. Honorable members, this sets our communities and townships ready, MEC Kumalo, for the digital economy, MEC. Furthermore, honorable members, there is a 50 million allocation in 2024-25 and 111.4 million over 2024 MTF within the budget. That is dedicated, Premier, towards the installation of CCTV cameras to monitor crime hotspots within the TISH areas. An allocation of 10 million rands has been made available to roll out the e-panic buttons in line with Premier Lessufi's commitments. The provincial government is allocating, we didn't interfere with this one, it's the provincial government. Gauteng Provincial Treasury receives 817 million in 2024-2025 and 2.6 billion over the MTF to lead provincial departments towards fiscal prudence and good governance in the delivery of services to Gauteng citizens. We can also get a round of applause, honorable members. The process that the department is engaged in to establish the state-owned pharmaceutical company is progressing as planned, with an independent advisory panel appointed to advise the MEC on the creation of this entity. And I must congratulate Mr. Amos Munyela, who is leading, the provincial chairperson of COSATU, who is leading this initiative. I think we must give him a round of applause, and I know he's in the house. We have noted, honorable members, developments at national to establish a state-owned bank. We will work with the National State-Owned Bank to ensure that it addresses the needs of people in Gauteng, including townships and entrepreneurs. Madam Speaker, Gauteng Provincial, okay, this is very important, honorable members. I almost got into trouble, honorable Madam Speaker. Honorable, let me start afresh, honorable members. Madam Speaker, the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, which has made a compelling case this time, is allocated 844.9 million in 2024-2025, and the budget grows to 2.6 billion over the MTF to propel confidence in democracy and improve the quality of life of Gauteng citizens. This total budget includes 122.2 million allocated in 2024-2025 for funding political parties and constituency support. Even, honorable members, the political tinswalos that benefited from the ANC government, such as Bushabalala, Bumsimang, all of them, I can see they are smiling, the political tinswalos. They wouldn't be sitting that side. They wouldn't be sitting that side if it was not because of the ANC government. We are very much pleased that they will also get something for constituency work and all that. Honorable members, this is to support political parties represented in the Gauteng Provincial Legislature to do their work. Allow me, honorable members, to go to infrastructure delivery. Madam Speaker, let me now update this House about how we have used our massive infrastructure budget to improve service delivery to communities, create jobs and boost local economic activities and skills development. The budget allocated for infrastructure since 2019 amounts to 58.6 billion. We use this budget to maintain the existing stock of infrastructure assets and provide additional capacity in response to the growing need for service delivery. The following are some of the key infrastructure projects completed during the sixth administration. Firstly, and very importantly, health completed the Spokane Zone 17 Clinic, the Fine Town Clinic, Philip Moyo Clinic, and the Greens Park Clinic. In social development, the Hammanskraal Social Integrated Facility was completed during this period, as well as the Mabopani Social Integrated Facility and the Devon Early Childhood Daycare. The Department of Education, honorable members, built new schools, including the Golden Gardens Primary School, Noord Geser Primary School, Tsakani Extension 22 Primary School, Tsepiso Primary School, Abraham Klope Primary School, Sitlabucha Primary School, and the Mapenani Secondary School. Human settlements completed a total of 41,981 housing units and provided 42,685 stand sites to enable people to build houses for themselves. Honorable members, I'm pleased to announce that Roads and Transport completed many key projects, including the upgrading of K73 between Woodmead Drive and Allendale Road, rehabilitation of road P157/1 from Vanderbijl Park to Potchefstroom Phase 2, rehabilitation of road P158/2, that's N14, from Diepsloot to Brakfontein, and the rehabilitation of road P39/1 from Diepsloot to Moedelsdrift. Honorable members, agriculture, rural development, and Environment completed the fencing of A.B. Bailey Nature Reserve and the installation of the Deep Blue Farm Museum fence. The Sports and Arts, Culture and Recreation completed the Wipatong Library, the Rasteval Community Library, Acacia Library, Impumelelo Library were completed, all of them, honorable members. Madam Speaker, in the 2024 MTF budget, we are allocating 37.2 billion for the delivery of infrastructure. These resources will be used to continue with the implementation of projects that commenced with construction in the previous financial years and projects that met the minimum requirements, planning requirements for funding for implementation in the 2024 MTF. Now, Honorable Speaker, allow me to address the matter of e-tolls. Honorable members, following the 2022 medium-term budget policy statement, where the Minister of Finance, Honorable Enoch Gauteng, made a public policy pronouncement to resolve the funding impasse, the Gauteng provincial government has agreed to contribute 30% to settling SANRAL's debt and interest obligations, while national government covers 70%, close quote. The province has accepted the 30% debt contribution, and provision for honoring this commitment is part, let me repeat this, I was disturbed. The provision to honoring this commitment is part of the fiscal framework that we are presenting today. This is part of the province arrangement to service the debt. The province has approached financial institutions to raise money required to honor its contractual obligations, noting that the target date for ending the e-toll of GFIP 1 is the 31st March 2024. Honorable members, let me reaffirm Premier Panyaza Lesufi's commitment in the State of the Province address that by the 31st of March 2024, we should have resolved the issue of e-tolls once and for all. Whilst provision has been made, honorable members, whilst provision has been made to settle the e-toll debt, the Gauteng provincial government strongly believe that all other matters relating to road maintenance be concluded through a separate process. Remember, honorable members, we were given two conditions: to pay 12.9 and also to contribute to hardcore maintenance. These were the two issues. Now that we are saying in the MTF period, we are penciling in how we are going to deal with that in the next financial year. With respect to maintenance, this is what we say, which is the other condition. We have held engagement with SANRAL in the last 2 weeks, and they have confirmed that e-toll maintenance backlog of 4.1 billion, and I must say, honorable members, this has been reduced from 6 billion, is now 4.1 billion. And the fact that funding, they've confirmed, the fact that funding will be required over 4 years. In other words, we don't have to go borrow for this 4.1 billion rands. We will pay it over the 4-year period. This demonstrates beyond any reasonable doubt that the province's commitment to comply with national treasury requirements and bring us closer to exiting the Gauteng Freeway Improvement Project is right here, and we can confirm, Premier, that with this, we are closer to exactly what we have said. Come the 31st, come the new financial year, the e-tolls will be a thing of the past. And honorable members, listen to this one. We have put this point. As part of the winding down process, statutory authorities at national level, National Treasury, National Department of Transport, and SANRAL will carry out all the necessary steps to seize the collection of e-tolls and gazette accordingly. With regards to, honorable members, with regards to the cancellation of the e-tolls, 14 days after the publishing of the deregulation gazette, Gauteng road users will no longer be charged for the use of the Gauteng freeways. Various processes will be in place leading up to the date of 31st March, including turning the tech bips off and stopping invoices to road users. Now let me clarify, honorable members, this is very important. The country lights and the cameras, honorable members, when the 31st come, let me clarify, because honorable members might expect that when you approach the countries, it will be completely off like no light. Let's clarify what the switch off means. The country lights and the cameras will remain on as they will continue to be operated for other law enforcement purposes, but will no longer be used for e-toll collection, honorable members. Road users can continue to use their e-tax at all other toll plazas in the country as long as their accounts are active. So it means, honorable members, when you visit other provinces, you can still use, in case your account is in good standing, like the provincial government, you can still use the resources. Further details on this process will be communicated to all road users in due course. Honorable members, we have never had to explain what does switching off means. We are now explaining it because when the 31st comes, we want everybody to be clear what does switching off means. There will still be light here and there because the e-tolls will continue to track criminals, law enforcement, but the billing part will not be there. So those who might see a blue light, Honorable Kanyile, don't say it's not switched off. There will still be a light there, to do law enforcement, Honorable Chair of Scopa. So that when you hold us accountable, you don't say there will be nothing. There will still be some lights. Now let me conclude, honorable members. Over the past 3 decades, our democracy has been shaped by the contributions and sacrifices of countless individuals who envisioned a society based on justice and equality. This budget pays tribute to their legacy by ensuring that our policies and allocations are geared towards reducing disparities, enhancing access to essential services, and fostering an environment where every citizen can thrive. Honorable Premier, thank you very much for the hard work and guidance that you always provide to all of us, and of course to my colleagues in EXCO. I'd like to express my appreciation to the Premier's Budget Committee for the valuable insight that you always provide to us as we prepare the budget. Thank you to both the Finance Portfolio Committee Chair, the Standing Committee on Public Accounts Chair under the stewardship of Honorable Malema and Honorable Sokaile Kanyile, respectively. Thank you very much, Honorable Chairpersons. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the Director General of the province. DG, thank you very much. It has been tough, but thank you. I'd like to thank you for the good work you are doing. I want to thank the Gauteng Provincial Treasury team under the leadership of our HOD, Ms. Numisa Mnyani, who's sitting right here with the officials of the department. HOD Mnyani, thank you very much, HOD. And I'd also like to thank the CEO of GIFA, Mr. Siabi, Mr. Opa Siabi. Where's the CEO? I think he must be sitting somewhere. But thanks to him as well, CEO. Lastly, I express my appreciation to the residents of Gauteng and all our stakeholders for continued support, advice, and criticism. You keep us on our toes to always strive to serve the people better. Madam Speaker, I now table the following documents for consideration by the House: the Appropriation Bill for 2024, the explanatory memorandum to the bill, estimates of provincial revenue and expenditure, estimates of capital expenditure, the socio-economic review and outlook, and of course, the copy of my speech. Thank you, honorable members. Siabuya! Siabuya, siabuya, siabuya. Siabuya, honorable members. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Order, members on order. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Masoleng. Thank you very much. We heard you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Honorable Masoleng. Thank you very much. You know, there's something, honorable members. Honorable members. Thank you. Honorable members, colleagues, thank you very much. That concludes the business for the day. Our next meeting or sitting will be on Friday, the 22nd of March, 2024 at 10 hours sharp. Thank you very much. The House is adjourned.